So we have a single mother that's pretty upset, fellas, about what's going on in her life. Let's review it.
I had one of my baby fathers. Okay. And
okay, I had one of my baby fathers. So that means there's more than one. This video starting off real well, isn't it?
messaged me about my son's attendance because I added his name so that he can be a part.
In which you should.
I get a question like, oh, why is this? This is excessive. This is ridiculous. I know I may not do anything right.
Okay, he said something is excessive and something is ridiculous about what's going on with the child at school because they in your care. And then when you're called to the carpet on it, let's continue.
I know I fail in a lot of areas.
Why are you failing, ma'am? Why?
But y'all little $200, $300, $400 of child support a month don't do nothing.
Oh, isn't it interesting? You live. Listen, anytime you hear somebody in the black community say, you live child support. Oh, nobody care about your little job. Nobody care about your little car. Nobody care about your little business. That's black folks' insult to you. That's when they insult you, when they call everything you doing little or lil, right? Always remember that. Now, you say that lil $200 or $300 a month ain't nothing. Well, that's what the law said he was supposed to pay. And if he's paying it, what are you complaining about?
Nothing. Okay.
What you mean it does nothing? If you took the whole $300 or $200 and spent it all on the child, it helps some. Now, of course, child support is based off of income. If you got with a guy that don't make much money and he wasn't a guy that had a great career or business, well, then you wouldn't get much in child support when you deal with those guys that's kind of not making much money.
It don't help me pick up the kids. It don't help me drop them off. It don't help me rest. It don't help nobody take care of the house while I'm sick.
Child support was never meant to pick up anybody. It was never meant to pick up your house. Child support was never meant to worry about you when you were sick. Child support is for the child, not you. Okay? So why are you trying to equate child support sent by the father to helping you in your house when you wanted primary custody?
Every sickness, every illness, every time I haven't felt good, every time I was thrown up in the house, I have not had nobody else to just come in and y'all.
Yeah, that sounds about right. If you're a single mother
out here with these child support mentalities, and granted, I have a love-hate relationship with the child support system. I understand that it's tax. I understand. I don't like how they do the men as well. But let me tell you how I don't like how the men do the men. Okay, y'all have this mentality like y'all don't have to do anything, like it's our responsibility.
Well, according to the law, if a man pays his child support, technically he don't have to do anything. The law don't even force you to pick him up. The law says, long as you provide the child support, long as you provide insurance, and depending on how much insurance, whatever state you're in, right? Some states just say medical. Some states say dental. Some states say medical, dental, and vision, right? Just depends on what it is. As long as he pays that child support on time every month, he don't ever have to see that kid. They don't even care if he see it. As long as he's sending that money in every month. So maybe you should be taking it up with the system and telling them that it should be a requirement for them to get their children is the same way a requirement it should be for them to pay.
You live in another state or you live somewhere else. Okay, you sleep when you want to sleep.
Yeah, the non-custodial parent, they can sleep when they want to sleep.
You're tired, you come home, you take a nap.
Yep, that's true too.
If you want to go out, if you want to do something, if you want to clean the house, everything's on your schedule.
Yeah, because they ain't got the kid. You do, ma'am. You chose to be a single mother. And the reason why I say chose is because you chose to lay down with the man. You chose to let him be in you without any way to protect yourself, whether you taking something or he's wearing something, right? You chose that. That's a life that you chose, ma'am. Why are you ranting on TikTok?
Okay, I don't have that. I have little people that dictate everything around me. Okay, you don't have to leave your job every 5 minutes because you get 15 goddamn phone calls a day from the schools.
Why are they getting 15 phone calls a day from the school? what's going on with those children. That's not normal to get 15 phone calls. Are you telling me you cannot raise those children, ma'am? Are you saying that you're not? Well, earlier you said you failed at a lot. I remember you said that. So now you're saying you're getting 15 phone calls from the school. So you attach the dad to the paperwork and everything with the school and the phone. So then when he's getting calls now he's questioning why I'm getting so many calls. What's going on with these children? Sound like from what you're saying, normally the school don't call you unless your children are unruly. So your children sound like from what you're saying, they're unruly. And that's why the school keep calling you.
You don't have to take every break and every lunch hour that you have dealing with children and referrals and hearings and IEPs. So don't question me on what I do.
Don't question you. And the school is calling 15 times to the point that you have to leave your job and not question you because now they're calling him. And so he wants to know, well, why the school calling so much? What's going on? So you're not doing what you're supposed to do as a parent. When someone asking you, the father asking you what's the deal, then he don't supposed to say nothing. So he supposed to just let it keep going about what's going on with his child. Like what? Y'all, some of these single mothers are delusional, man. Like they mess up, but don't want nobody to tell them nothing.
You don't have to sacrifice where you live. You don't have to sacrifice what you want to do and what you aspire to give your children the best that they can possibly have. You don't have to do all of that. You don't lose sleep for.
You are a single mother with primary custody. That comes along with it. This is why when God created the way things should be, he said that it should be a man. And man should not be alone. He needs to have him a wife. And between that union, you have your children and you stay together until the Lord takes one of you home. When you choose to live a perverted lifestyle, and what I mean by perverted, not the perverted you thinking, anything outside of what God has created is a perverted lifestyle. Single motherhood is a perverted lifestyle, and this is why she's suffering, because that's out of the natural order of things. This is why she's having problems with those kids. This is why she's not raising them as they should. This is why she's losing sleep and she's frustrated and everything else, because when you do things outside of the natural order of things, it brings chaos to your life. It does.
Days at a time for years. What can you do? Move. Help. You go pick up the kids. You answer some phone calls from the referrals. You go talk to them. You take them out. You spend extra money for all the extra stuff that they need and go pick them up and take them to their dental appointments and to.
But see, right there, that's a you problem, because you chose a guy that don't really worry about his kid like that. See, when it comes to mine, I've always been there. See, at one point in time, I remember I was so frustrated. I was upset. It was a lot dealing with a lot at one point in time, with my son's mom. Yeah, it's long time ago. No issue today. We talking about a long time ago. And I was just so tired of the situation, just dealing with that. And I was ready to leave Texas at the time. I was like, man, look, I can go to my job. I was working at petrochemical at the time. I said I could transfer to, I think, Northern California. I just wanted to try something new. And my grandmother at the time said, no, don't do that. You can't just leave your son down here like that. He said, you need to be here for him. He said, because if anything go down, you need to be right there. He said, look, let him grow up. If you choose to do that later, then fine, but always be there for him. And you know what? I listened to my grandmother at the time. She definitely, rest in, power for sure. And that was a good decision, because one thing about me, I do listen to sound counsel. I do pay attention to what, my elders say to me and explain to me why, because I did need to be here. You know what I'm saying? And which I'm glad I didn't leave anyway, because that would have been a horrible decision. I would have came right back to Houston anyway, based on the way California is. There, all the mess that goes on over there. I don't really want to get into that politics stuff here. That's not this channel, but I would have definitely been back here. Let's just say that much, and it would have wasted a lot of money. It would have wasted a lot of time. But, I made sure to be a part of things. I made sure to be at games. I made sure to, if he needed something, extra. Now, mind you, I didn't pay $200 or $300 in child support. I was paying $1,046 a month in child support for my son. $1,046 a month. I am done paying child support. Got my letter from my attorney just a week ago. So I'm done. So I don't know how to relate to $200 to $300 a month in child support. Don't know how to relate. Matter of fact, I had got a refund from child support, a $1,900, almost $2,000 refund, because I had an overage in child support. You understand what I'm saying? So I always was sending mine because, I'm a brother like to travel, and y'all travel men, y'all know you owe $2,500 or more in back child support. They suspending that passport. So that child support for me had to be on point. But it's the kind of man you pick, man. That's really what it is. Because not every man is like that. Just because he's not with you don't mean he won't be more involved with the school, be involved with appointments, be involved in many different ways. Just the guy you picked.
To their eye exams and to their doctor's appointments and to their surgeries and to every other appointment that they have, because there's like 50 of them. And still try to work and live out your dreams.
Well, when you laid down and had those kids, you chose by your actions to put your dreams on hold or greatly damper them until the time that you get free of those children. Listen, I understand her frustration. I'm not trying to just pick on her. I'm not that kind of guy. I know having a child is not easy by yourself. I know it's not. But once again, it goes back to what I said. You have the natural order of things and you have a perverted version of ways to live, right? And it is a perverted way to have single mothers and not have a husband. Because one thing I know about women get tired. Women are emotional. Women need that balance with men. They need the men so they can lean on, because women get weak. That's just who they are. Women need that strength. Women need that leadership and that guidance. Women need, for the man to sometimes get involved with that child. You understand? Sometimes your wife, sometimes she just, she ain't, feeling well and you got to take over. But let's say she's not feeling well, right? And there's no man. This is why it's important, ladies, to marry before you carry. Do you want to be like her? Do you want her life? And then some of you picking guys, the guys you should have picked to have a baby with, they were corny. They wasn't 6 feet tall. Oh, he looked lame. And you have a guy you thought that looked good, that was broke, that looked good to you and think, ooh, they got so much swag and oh, look at they drip and everything else that y'all like to say today, right? But he a horrible person. And you had a baby with him. And then now you end up like her on TikTok.
And to the men, you text me WYD one more time and I'm doing all of this stuff and you didn't get an attitude because I don't respond to you. You offer to pay one of my bills or take my kids somewhere, then we'll talk.
Oh boy, she said pay her bill and take one of her kids, multiple, she didn't say how many, somewhere. Well, a lot of these men that hit you up, they see your picture. They don't know nothing about what you got going on. But trust me, you tell them how many kids you got. What y'all single mothers need to do is you really want to get down to the business and not play with some of these guys. Just the moment they message you, say, hey, I got X amount of kids. Is that cool with you? And trust me, those guys will get ghost. And if those guys want to fool with you, they further than that, some are like, well, I don't care about them kids. I'm just trying to hit it. Some of them try to do that too and then leave you alone, right? But this is the life of a single mother. Ladies who don't have children, do you really want that life? No, you don't want that life. You want to have a husband and you want to make sure that you get married before you have any baby. If you put that in your mind, then I'm going to marry before I carry. We can stop all these single mothers that we have in the community. because women are the gatekeepers of sex, period. Women are so powerful in the Western world that even you having sex with a woman and she just tell you it was consensual, and if she tell you stop and you don't stop, it's considered you're violating her. That's how much power they have. So yes, women are the gatekeepers of that. It's a little bit harder now for them, but they also can delete their children. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's how much power they have. So y'all the gatekeepers of that. So if you don't want to have no children unless you married, enforce that. Enforce that community wide. And you won't be suffering these issues and problems. But y'all let me know what y'all think about, this single mother here frustrated, but that's a life she chose.